Have you ever imagined losing belly fat without having to live on salads or giving up the foods you love? It's possible, and the secret lies in 5 groups of foods that, when combined, speed up fat burning and help maintain the results. These aren't magic formulas, but smart choices that change the way your body responds to food. And the best part, anyone can apply them. These foods have something in common. They control hunger, stabilize blood sugar, and keep your metabolism working in your favor. Unlike extreme diets, you don't need to cut everything at once or obsessively count calories. The strategy is to incorporate these groups naturally and enjoyably into your daily life. And yes, even your favorite snack can have its place. The foundation is in science. Studies show that these foods help reduce visceral fat, the most dangerous and stubborn kind. When you understand how each group works, it's like having an internal manual to guide your choices. This was exactly what transformed my own weight loss process. And I can assure you, it's liberating. To make things easier, we've created an exclusive guide that explains how to fit these groups into your routine effortlessly. It will only be available for a limited time, so it's worth taking advantage. But now, I want to show you exactly what these 5 groups are and why they work so well. Get ready, because even the last one could completely change your relationship with food. Alright, let's start with the one you probably expected, but maybe don't fully appreciate for its fat loss power: vegetables. I know, eat your veggies. Your parents told you, your doctor told you, and now I'm telling you. But let's move beyond just they're good for you and get into the specific mechanisms that make them a powerhouse for targeting belly fat. The first, and most obvious reason, is their incredible nutrient density paired with low calorie density. What does that mean in practical terms? It means you can eat a large volume of vegetables, physically filling your stomach, without consuming a large number of calories. Think about a huge bowl of spinach, broccoli, and bell peppers. It takes up a lot of space, right? That volume sends signals to your brain that you're full, which is a critical part of managing hunger and preventing overeating later. This is largely due to their high water and fiber content, a 1-2 punch for satiety. Let's talk about that fiber, specifically soluble fiber, which is abundant in vegetables like Brussels sprouts, asparagus, and sweet potatoes. When you eat soluble fiber, it forms a gel-like substance in your digestive tract. This slows down digestion, which not only keeps you feeling full for a much longer period but also helps stabilize your blood sugar levels. Stable blood sugar means less dramatic insulin spikes, and since insulin is a fat storage hormone, managing it is crucial for losing belly fat. On top of that, there's something called the thermic effect of food, or TEF. This is the energy your body expends to digest, absorb, and process the nutrients in your food. High-fiber vegetables have a relatively high TEF. Your body has to work harder to break them down compared to, say, a simple sugar. This means you're burning more calories just by the act of digesting your food. It might seem like a small amount for one meal, but over weeks and months, this adds up significantly. Research consistently backs this up. A study published in the journal Obesity followed participants for 5 years and found that for every 10-gram increase in soluble fiber eaten per day, the rate of visceral fat accumulation, that's the dangerous fat deep in your abdomen, decreased by 3.7%. That's a direct measurable impact from simply eating more of the right kind of fiber found in vegetables. This isn't a theory, it's observable science. So, how do you put this into practice? It's simple. Aim to have vegetables make up half of your plate at lunch and dinner. Don't just relegate them to a tiny side salad, make them the star of the show. Sauté a big pan of kale and garlic, roast a whole tray of broccoli and cauliflower with some spices, or start your meal with a large, veggie-packed soup. The more you can incorporate, the less room there is for higher-calorie, less nutritious options. Think about variety too. Different colors of vegetables provide different micronutrients and phytochemicals, all of which support your overall health and metabolic function. Red bell peppers are packed with vitamin C, leafy greens are full of magnesium, and orange vegetables like carrots provide beta-carotene. A healthier body is a more efficient body when it comes to regulating weight. It's a holistic system. Don't be afraid of frozen vegetables either. They are often flash frozen at peak ripeness, locking in their nutrients. They're convenient, affordable, and just as effective. Having a few bags of frozen broccoli, spinach, or a mixed veggie blend on hand means you never have an excuse to skip your vegetable serving, even on a busy night. It's about making consistency as easy as possible. The goal here isn't perfection. You don't have to suddenly love every vegetable. Start with the ones you enjoy, or can at least tolerate, and find new ways to prepare them. Roasting with a little olive oil and salt can completely transform the taste of Brussels sprouts or asparagus. Blending spinach into a smoothie is a great way to get it in without even tasting it. Ultimately, by loading up on vegetables, you are tackling belly fat from multiple angles. You're increasing fullness with fewer calories, you're stabilizing blood sugar and insulin through fiber, you're boosting your metabolism through the thermic effect, and you're providing your body with the essential micronutrients it needs to function optimally. This is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Now that we've laid the foundation with vegetables, let's talk about the second pillar: protein. If vegetables are the defensive line that keeps hunger at bay, protein is the offense that actively helps you burn fat and build a leaner physique. Its role is so critical that undereating protein is one of the most common mistakes I see people make when they're trying to lose weight, and it almost always sabotages their efforts. First and foremost, protein is essential for preserving and even building lean muscle mass, especially when you're in a calorie deficit. When you're losing weight, your body doesn't just burn fat, it can also break down muscle tissue for energy. This is a disaster for your metabolism because muscle is metabolically active tissue. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest. By eating enough protein, you tell your body, hey, spare the muscle, burn the fat instead. Like vegetables, protein is incredibly satiating. In fact, out of the three macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats, protein is by far the most effective at promoting feelings of fullness. This has been shown time and time again in clinical studies. Eating a protein-rich meal helps suppress ghrelin, your main hunger hormone, and boost levels of satiety hormones like peptide YY and GLP-1. This means you feel fuller for longer, reducing cravings and the likelihood of snacking between meals. Protein also has the highest thermic effect of food, or TEF, of all the macronutrients. Remember how we talked about this with vegetables? Well, with protein it's even more pronounced. Your body uses a whopping 20 to 30% of the calories from the protein you eat, just to digest and metabolize it. So if you eat 100 calories from pure protein, your body only nets about 70 to 80 of those calories. This metabolic boost is a powerful passive way to increase your daily energy expenditure. Let's look at the research. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that a high-protein diet led to participants spontaneously eating nearly 450 fewer calories per day because they felt so much more satisfied. Another review concluded that higher protein intakes are associated with lower levels of abdominal fat. The evidence is clear: prioritizing protein is a non-negotiable strategy for effective fat loss. So, what kind of protein should you be eating? You want to focus on a variety of high-quality sources. Lean options are fantastic. Think chicken breast, turkey, fish like cod or tilapia, egg whites, and Greek yogurt. These give you a powerful protein punch with minimal fat, making them very efficient for hitting your protein goals within a calorie budget. They are versatile and can be grilled, baked, or broiled. But don't be afraid of proteins that come with a bit more fat, as long as it's the right kind. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines are excellent examples. They not only provide high-quality protein but are also rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which have their own anti-inflammatory and health benefits that we'll touch on later. Similarly, whole eggs, yolk included, and lean cuts of red meat in moderation can be part of a healthy diet, providing essential nutrients like iron and B12. For my plant-based viewers, you have a wealth of options as well. Lentils, chickpeas, black beans, tofu, tempeh, and edamame are all fantastic sources of protein and fiber, giving you a double dose of satiety. Quinoa is another great choice as it's a complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids. The key is to combine different plant sources to ensure you're getting a complete amino acid profile throughout the day. How much protein do you need? A good general guideline for fat loss is to aim for about 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of your target body weight, or roughly 25 to 35% of your total daily calories. A simpler way to think about it is to include a palm-sized portion of a protein source with every meal. This ensures you're spreading your intake throughout the day, which is optimal for muscle protein synthesis and sustained satiety. The takeaway here is to stop thinking of protein as just something for bodybuilders. It is a fundamental tool for anyone looking to lose belly fat. It protects your metabolism revving muscle, it's the king of satiety, and it gives you a free metabolic boost with every meal. Make a conscious effort to build each meal around a quality protein source, and you will see and feel a dramatic difference in your fat loss journey. Okay, this next category is probably the most demonized and misunderstood food group when it comes to fat loss carbohydrates. For years we've been told that carbs are the enemy, that they make you fat, and that cutting them out is the only way to get lean. I'm here to tell you that this is not only wrong, but avoiding the right kind of carbs can actually hinder your progress and make your diet miserable and unsustainable. The key distinction we need to make is between simple refined carbohydrates and complex unrefined carbohydrates. Simple carbs are things like white bread, sugary cereals, pastries, and soda. They are stripped of their fiber and nutrients, digest very quickly, spike your blood sugar and insulin, and leave you feeling hungry again shortly after. These are the ones you want to limit. Complex carbohydrates, on the other hand, are your allies in the fight against belly fat. We're talking about foods like oats, quinoa, brown rice, sweet potatoes, beans, and lentils. These are whole, minimally processed foods that come packaged as nature intended, with their fiber, vitamins, and minerals intact. This fiber is the game changer. Just like with vegetables, the fiber in complex carbs slows down digestion. This leads to a much more gradual release of sugar into the bloodstream, preventing those dramatic insulin spikes that promote fat storage. This stable energy release is what you want. It keeps you fueled for hours, powers your workouts, and prevents the energy crashes and cravings that often lead to reaching for unhealthy snacks. Furthermore, many complex carbs are rich in a specific type of fiber called resistant starch. Foods like cooked and cooled potatoes or rice, slightly green bananas, and legumes are great sources. Resistant starch resists digestion in the small intestine and travels to the large intestine, where it acts as a prebiotic. It feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, which is incredibly important for your overall health. A healthy gut microbiome is increasingly being linked to better weight management. These good bacteria produce compounds like butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid that can improve insulin sensitivity and may even help increase fat oxidation, which is just a fancy way of saying fat burning. So by eating these carbs, you're not just feeding yourself, you're feeding the trillions of allies in your gut that help regulate your weight. Let's look at a major study. The PURE study, which followed over 135,000 people in 18 countries, found that individuals with the highest intake of carbohydrates, from sources like fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, did not have higher rates of cardiovascular disease or mortality. In fact, it was very high-fat and very low-carb diets that showed potential issues. The message is that quality matters far more than quantity. Think of complex carbs as the premium fuel for your body's engine. You wouldn't put low-grade, dirty fuel in a high-performance car, would you? The same principle applies here. These carbs provide the glucose your brain needs to function optimally, and the glycogen your muscles need to perform during exercise. Trying to work out intensely without adequate carbs is like trying to drive a car on an empty tank. So, how do you incorporate them correctly? Aim for a fist-sized portion of a complex carb source with most of your meals, especially the ones before and after your workouts. A bowl of oatmeal with berries in the morning, a side of quinoa with your chicken and veggie lunch, or a baked sweet potato with your salmon dinner are all perfect examples. The fear of eating carbs, especially at night, is another myth I want to bust. The idea that carbs eaten after 6 p.m. automatically turn to fat is physiologically nonsense. Your body doesn't have a clock that suddenly changes how it metabolizes food. What matters is your total calorie and carbohydrate intake over a 24-hour period, not the specific timing. In fact, having some complex carbs in the evening can improve sleep quality by helping with the production of serotonin and melatonin. Better sleep, as we know, is critical for hormone regulation and fat loss.